Hey there, boys and girls. We are joined by our friend Sally the Snake and her daughter Susie.
Hi there, boys and girls. Say hello to the boys and girls, dear. Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Neve, I wanted to ask you a little favor.
Oh, what's that, Sally?
Well, Susie's getting a little older now. She's almost ready for first grade. I just can't believe it. They grow so fast.
Don't they?
And, well, she's been learning about money in kindergarten. She knows her coins, and she knows how to count money.
Mm-hmm.
So her father and I are thinking about starting her on an allowance.
Oh, yes.
An allowance, of course, is money that we'll give her each week that she earns, of course, from chores. Yes, Mommy, thank you. We're thinking about starting her on $2 a week.
That sounds like a good amount.
Mrs. Neve, we were hoping to get some tips from you, teaching her about spending money and how money works and making a budget and spending it wisely.
I see.
Now, of course, we're telling her that we give a portion of our money to the Lord by giving it to the church and to poor people to help them.
Yes, God teaches us that in His Word. Like King David, he showed God's kindness to Mephibosheth, and Mephibosheth didn't have much money, and King David helped him out with a place to live and food to eat.
That's right, and we want Susie to learn that too. Thank you, Mommy.
Well, I have just the book that can help you with the part about the money and the budgeting.
Oh, yes?
In fact, it's our nonfiction selection today. It's called Spending Money.
Oh, this sounds perfect. Thank you, Mrs. Neve. We'll sit right over here, crisscross applesauce, all coiled up.
Sounds good, Sally. Okay, here we go. Spending Money. Let's find our title page. Here it is. Spending Money, and it is by Dana Meechan Rao. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Oops. Next, we get to the table of contents, which of course tells us the names of the chapters and the pages where you can find them. Let's start with Chapter 1, Lots to Buy, and it is on page 4. Chapter 1, Lots to Buy. You can have fun spending money at a shopping mall. Each store sells something different. You might pass a bookstore, a snack stand, or a toy horse to ride. Goods and services are names for the two types of things money can buy. Goods are things you can buy and take home with you. Books, toys, and games are goods. The clothes that you wear are also goods. So those are the things that you buy. They call them goods. Let's look at the pictures. Here's a little girl at a toy store. Looks like she's looking at a toy octopus. It says, sometimes deciding how to spend your money can be hard. It's true. There's so many interesting things. How do you decide? And then over here where the apples are, it says, apples from the grocery store are goods. A service is something a person does for someone else. A haircut is a service. When a barber cuts a customer's hair, he or she is doing that person a service. The customer pays the barber for his or her work. A haircut is a service that helps you look good. And aren't we thankful that the hair salons and barbershops are open again? Money travels when people spend it on goods and services. Your mother might give you a quarter. You keep it in your piggy bank for a few days. Then you might give the quarter to someone else to buy a candy bar or a new toy. Money moving from person to person is called circulation. When you buy a cookie at a bake sale, the money you spend moves to someone else. Circulation. Ah, yes, we're into Chapter 2. Money gets around. Indeed it does. The government makes coins and paper money. Coins are made of metal. They can last up to 30 years. That's a long time. So the coins are your pennies, your quarters, your dimes, your nickels. Paper money lasts only about a year and a half. Well, and that would be like your dollar bills, and that makes sense because paper's definitely not as strong as metal. And it says here, coins are made at the United States Mint. That's the name of this building where they make the money, the United States Mint. The government the government sends the money to banks. They keep the money in locked safes called vaults. Guards at banks keep watch to make sure the money will be there when customers need it. And here's a picture. It says, money travels to banks in armored trucks that keep the money safe. So they're very strong trucks so that people wouldn't be able to break into them and steal the money. And of course they have guards to keep watch over it too. As sadly, there's bad people out there that are going to try and steal money, so they have to protect it. A store owner goes to the bank to get money for the cash register in her store. Later that day, a man might buy a pack of gum from her. The store owner gives the man change. Okay, so he gives her money for the gum. She gives him back change. And on his way home, the man might spend his change to buy a newspaper. So now he spends some money to buy a newspaper. Money really gets around. Remember, they call that circulation. Chapter 3, Ways to Pay. Coins and paper money are called cash. Buying things with cash is easy, but using cash is not the only way to spend money. Paper money and coins are made in many different amounts. Yes, you have your dollar bills worth $1 or 100 cents, quarters worth 25 cents. We've been learning all about this. There's $10 bills, there's pennies worth 1 cent. Many adults save their money in accounts at banks. They do not have to go to a bank every time they need money. They can use checks instead. Your grandmother might send you a check on your birthday. Here's a little boy opening a birthday card, and it has a check inside. It says, getting a check in the mail is a nice surprise. A check is a special slip of paper. It has places for your grandmother to write your name, the date, and the amount of money she is giving you. You can take the check to the bank and trade it in for cash. The bank takes the money from your grandmother's bank account. So there's a picture of a check. It says a check must have your name written on it before you can take it for cash. So there's his name would go right there. And Grandma signs her name there, and she puts the amount right there. Looks like she's giving him $10. Wow, that was nice of Grandma. Adults might pay for things with credit cards. There's the credit card. A credit card is a small plastic card that fits in a wallet. A customer in a store can pay with a credit card instead of cash. Then he or she gets a bill in the mail to pay later. Yeah, so it's not like all you do is give them the card. You do have to pay later. So you got to be careful with the credit cards because it's easy to spend too much. And it says here, a credit card has an account number on it. That's the account number right there. It's usually very long. The number is different for each person that has a card. Okay, on to Chapter 4, Making a Budget. If you had $10 to spend at a fair, what would you spend it on? You might be hungry. You might spend all of your money on snacks. Then you would not have enough money left for a game or to go on a ride. Would you spend your money on a big pretzel or a ride on the merry-go-round? He's trying to decide. You can plan how you are going to spend your money. A spending plan is called a budget. A budget can help you buy the goods and services you need. It can also help you know how much money you will have left to spend on things you want. Adults need to spend money on food and clothes for their families. They pay for electricity, heat, and other things their homes need too. They also save some of their money. Then they can plan for things they want. Going to a movie, taking a vacation, and buying a new TV are some extra things a family might spend money on. And it says down here by the picture of the little girl looking at her money, it says, to plan a budget, you have to think carefully about how to spend your money. Yeah, you don't want to be like the little boy that went to the fair and spent all of his money on snacks and then didn't have any money left over for other things. You have to think about how you're going to spend your money. Ooh, and here's a family on a vacation. It says going on a vacation is a fun way to spend money. And a vacation is something extra. It's something you'd have to save up for because you don't really need it. Well, sometimes you feel like you need a vacation, right? But it's not like food and clothing that you really need. So you have to save some extra money for the vacation. You can make a budget to decide how to spend your $10 before you go to the fair. Well, that's a good idea. You could plan to spend $2 for food. You could plan $1 for games. And then you could plan $5 for rides. You could plan $1 for a balloon. You would have $1 left. You could use that extra dollar for something you did not plan for. Maybe you will want another hot dog. Maybe you'll want to take a second turn on a ride. You will have enough money to buy what you want when you plan ahead with a budget. Smart. Here's a little boy. It says you could use a notebook to make a spending plan or a budget. And that's what he's doing there. He's written down spending plan. And then here it says planning helps you have enough money for the fun things you want to do. Okay, math connection. Don't spend it all. You are going on a field trip to the zoo. You have $10 to spend. Look at the list of goods and services at the zoo. Plan how you will spend your money by making a budget. So tickets to get into the zoo are $6. A pony ride is $2. Snacks, soft drinks are $1.50. Popcorn is $1. Ooh, you can buy a zebra pencil for 25 cents. That's how much the pencils cost at our school, right? You can buy a stuffed giraffe for $2.50. And you can buy food to feed the goats for 50 cents. There's your 50 cents right there, 2 quarters. Now, I have an idea. Susie, come on over.
Yes, Mrs. Neve.
This is going to be your assignment. We are going to pretend that you are going to the zoo.
Oh, I love the zoo. They have snakes in zoos.
They do.
So I'm going to get to go to the zoo?
Well, we're going to pretend. And boys and girls, you're going to pretend too, all right? So it says you're going to the zoo. You have $10 to spend. So, Susie, I'm going to give you $10 of play money to spend at the zoo. Let's go ahead. I'm going to use our Saturdays card since we don't use that much for a bookmark so we won't lose our place. So, Susie, we're going to get you $10 in play money. Here's our they are $1 bills.
Okay.
And we're going to count out 10 of them for $10 because they're each worth $1. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Susie, here are your $10 in play money to spend at the zoo.
Oh boy.
Now, if you recall, it costs $6 to get into the zoo.
Okay, so I have to spend $6 on that.
That's right. So we're going to count out $6.
Okay.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. $6, and that's going to buy your ticket to the zoo. We'll put that over there. Let's see how much that you have left, Susie.
How much do I have left to spend now?
Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, $4 you have left to spend.
Oh dear, how will I ever decide?
Let's look over the list of things to choose from again. And by the way, since some of the things on the list cost 50 cents or 25 cents, you're going to need some quarters.
Okay, how do we do that, Mrs. Neve?
We're going to trade in one of your dollars for $1 in quarters. So it's like you're giving it to the bank there, and they're going to give you back the quarters. So I've got my quarters here. Remember, there were 25 cents each, so I'm going to count the cents by 25s. 25, 50, 75, 100. So my 4 quarters here equal $1, because 100 cents is $1, remember? 25, 50, 75, 100, or $1. Okay, so here are your $4. Susie, you've got $3 in paper money plus $1 in quarters.
Okay, Mrs. Neve. I'm ready to just plan my budget.
Very good. Let's look at the book again. Okay, here's what's available and the cost. Remember, you could go on a pony ride, and that would cost $2. There's the $2 bills there. You could buy some snacks. There's soft drinks for $1.50. There's $1 and $25.50, because those are quarters. So $1.50 there. And then we've got the popcorn over here. That costs $1. There's your dollar bill. Could buy a zebra pencil for 25 cents. There's the quarter. A stuffed giraffe for $2.50. There's $2 and $25.50. $2.50 there. Or your other choice is food to feed the goats at 50 cents. There's your 2 quarters, $25.50 to make 50 cents. Susie, what are you thinking? Boys and girls, you'd be thinking too, how would you spend that money? Remember, you've got $4 left because you had to spend $6 to get into the zoo. Hey, 4 plus 6 equals 10. That's right. We could even say it this way. 10 take away 6, 10 minus 6 equals 4. Interesting. Okay.
Let's see now, Mrs. Neve. Pony ride, snacks, pencil, giraffe, feed the goats. Well, I think I definitely want to take a pony ride. That sure looks like fun.
Okay. The pony ride costs $2.
Okay.
So we'll take, I have to put you down there for a minute, Susie. We have our $3 plus our $1 in quarters, right, to make 4. So we're going to take $2, 1, 2, to pay for the pony ride, setting aside that. So we've got $1 in paper money plus $1 in the quarters, remember? Oh, by the way, remember the quarters are the ones with George Washington on them. And here, this is a regular quarter. It has it, Mr. Eagle, the eagle on the other side, 25 cents. So you've got $2 left, Susie. $2 to spend.
Oh dear, this is hard to decide.
Let's take a look at your options. Options are choices. Okay, Susie, what are you thinking? What are you thinking, boys and girls?
I think I want to buy some popcorn.
Okay, popcorn is $1. So let's use one of her dollars here, setting that aside for popcorn. Okay, so that means she has $1 in quarters left. So she had $2 minus 1 equals $1 left. Okay, Susie, what do you think?
I want to feed the goats. They're so cute.
That costs 50 cents.
Okay.
So we're going to take 25, 50. Let's put down our book. So we've got our 50 cents in quarters that we're going to set aside to buy money to feed the goats. Okay, so you have 50 cents left because We spent 2 of your quarters on the goats. Susie, what do you think?
50 cents left. Can I buy a soft drink?
No, that's a $1.50. You don't have enough. You've got 50 cents left.
Oh, let's see. Well, how about a zebra pencil for 25 cents?
You could do that.
Okay, I like zebra pencils.
Okay, so she needs 25 cents. She's got 50 cents here. I'm going to take one of the quarters, set it over here, and that leaves you with 1 quarter left. Do you remember how much a quarter is worth, Susie?
25 cents. And I know exactly what I want to do with it.
What's that?
I'm going to buy a pencil for Mommy.
Oh, that's nice. Mommy will love it. So here is the quarter to buy a pencil for Mommy.
That's fun. I can hardly wait to go to the zoo.
I know, we were just kind of pretending though.
I know.
And boys and girls, how are you going to spend your $10 at the zoo? Remember, of course, you have to spend $6 just to get in. So talk with Mom and Dad about it. How would you spend that $4 that you have left? What choices would you make? And we would love to hear what you decided on. Go ahead and post it on Teams. Well, Sally, thanks so much for bringing Susie over here to help us learn about money and spending money.
Yes, Mrs. Neve, thank you so much. And Susie, thank you for being generous and wanting to buy a pencil for Mommy, too. I love you, Mommy. All right. Well, boys and girls, be sure to spend your money wisely. Remember, the Lord always provides. No one can serve 2 masters.
That's right. We don't want to put the money first. We want to put God first.
Absolutely, Mrs. Neve. And store up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
That's right. Okay, boys and girls, we will see you next time. Always remember,
Jesus loves you.
Bye-bye, boys and girls.